Hello everybody, Jackie here, and welcome to the VAMPLIFIER. And I'm accompanied by ACAaron.
Yo, what's up?
Yes, and now originally I was going to actually do one other thing. I was going to basically do a recording of covering all of this together, like every single E3 press conference with you and another friend, Vic, who I did the previous episode of this on. But since we all live in different time zones, I figured we'd do it all separately and we do it all section-based. So
That's cool with me, yeah.
yes, moving on. So we will start with the very first section, which is Ubisoft.
Sacre bleu!
Oh, that was too easy. But yes, these French bastards actually managed to have, one good game, at least that stuck out to me, and I thought it was the best. Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Absolutely bloody agree with you on that one. I mean, out of everything Ubisoft showcased at E3, I thought easily, out of the games they showed off, Beyond Good and Evil 2 was definitely the standout presentation for the evening, really. I think a lot I'm looking forward to on that game in particular, particularly when they show us that Jade appears to be the villain.
Yeah, that's a bit crazy that she would actually be the villain, but it's an interesting twist.
Yeah, it's a twist I'm interested in, and curious to see how the story goes. And I think the whole trailer in itself was great. I mean, good graphics shown. We at least still get some of the characters recognized from the previous games, and I'd be interested to see how each character gets developed as the game goes on. But we'll see.
Okay, yes, and I definitely want to say that there's a lot of really good stuff that was shown at these press conferences, or at least most of them. I'm not EA, but we'll get
to that.
We'll get into EA later in a bit. Yes, so I like the first Beyond Good and Evil. So the second one seems like it would actually be worthy of checking out.
I will say the first Beyond Good and Evil is a very underrated game, because I think the problem was, I think at the time it was released, I think another game caught more attention than that game did. So I'm hoping with the second one there's going to be a lot more eyes on it. So maybe we could then finally get some love in this franchise. Who knows?
Oh yes, exactly. I mean, the first one was successful, and it's getting even more successful now, considering that
a very cult following, to say the least. Yes.
Well, yes, but I'm just saying, like, even though it has a cult following, there's going to be a lot more people playing it now than there were before, because of one thing. It's actually, I believe at one point it was free on Xbox Live, actually.
Yeah.
And yes, moving on to the part that about Ubisoft that was the least interesting, or basically what I'd probably like to call is a steaming pile of frog shit, but at least I thought it was. Mario Raving Rabbids, longest name I've ever fucking seen in my life. I did not think...
And your winner for the weirdest crossover video games.
Oh, yes.
I remember, was it last year's E3 that they first showed this? I think it may have been. I don't know. Because I remember they first showed this and I'm thinking, please tell me this is a fucking joke.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
I'm never a fan of the rabbits.
Me neither. I hated them ever since they came on screen.
Yeah, I remember when they first introduced them. It's just like, never really been a fan of them. And the Mario games, I think I've kind of leaned more to the classic Mario games than like the modern Mario games, but that's just me. So it's kind of odd to see these two like mixed together. I know Nintendo and Ubisoft have got this sort of like relationship, not that kind of relationship, but sort of like a partnership relationship kind of thing, where it's just like, oh, let's collaborate on these games. And I'm kind of curious, thinking, I probably wouldn't have preferred a Mario Rayman kind of crossover, I guess, because they both platform, but Rabbids is but it's not even like a platforming game. It's like this sort of like turn-based. I want to say a turn-based strategy, but I don't know if that's the right word for it.
Well, I guess, but I just gotta say that it's still a stupid idea. And according to what I've heard, and I may be getting this wrong, but the same guy who made the rabbits designed the minions from Despicable Me.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would
Me
not
neither.
be fucking surprised as well. It's very uncanny between the rabbits and the minions, easily, but...
Oh, yes, definitely. I don't think that really I'd be invested in that franchise, because believe it or not, Mario does have other games, but this is just like one of those least memorable games, and for some reason...
Well, least appealing is what I would best describe it as, because...
Yeah, least appealing.
Yeah, I think... Like, I mean, there's Super Mario Odyssey, which I could see the appeal. This, not so much.
Yeah.
And I think last I heard they announced like new DLC for Mario Rabbids, which now includes Donkey Kong, and like a whole level designed around Donkey Kong. Which okay, I can understand. You know, with the original Donkey Kong, Mario was jumping over barrels and trying to get whichever the princess's name was that Donkey Kong kidnaps as hostage. So I can understand that connection at least. Though it is kind of weird seeing like a rabid version of Donkey Kong, which is very weird.
Yeah, the band did a good job for the most part on the sound and all that, but it's just very weird to see them on screen during something that we really wouldn't really care too much about to actually look at.
I mean, if people like this, okay, that's fine. It's just not my thing, I'm afraid. It's too outlandish, to say the least. I mean... Never was a fan of rabbits, and I've kind of fallen out of love with Mario, to say the least. But, you know, if people like this, great. It's just not my thing.
Oh yeah, those annoying little cotton ball suckers or whatever they are. I hate them. But, yeah. So I can definitely... Well, actually, hate is not a strong enough word, but, yes! For those who like it, it's fine. I personally, hate the shit out of it. But, I think really they should stop making newer ones because of the Rabbids and Nintendo characters, because, quite frankly, there's only so much you can do with them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, with each character they have their limits, but I would more so, like, Mario I can understand they're never going to stop because, well, he is the mascot for Nintendo, pretty much, so...
Yep.
Rabbids, yeah, keep them the fuck far away, please, just...
Just they should stop making future stuff with Nintendo when it comes to this. You know, it'd be funny if they were actually enemies in Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, and you get to kill a bunch of rabbits. It'd be great, and they'd make some enemies and such. I think that would be probably like the best thing for that.
Interesting, yeah.
Well, yeah, you get to kill them and make them look all goblin-like or something, and I don't know. Anyway, moving on to another thing that was the least interesting. Rainbow Six updates. I couldn't give a shit less about this try-too-hard-to-be-realistic franchise, even if I was forced to play it. I'm sorry.
You know how with magnets you've got the attract part and the repel part? To me, I'm the repel part against anything Tom Clancy related, because... Yeah. The problem I have with them is they're just so fucking boring.
I agree.
Absolutely fucking boring. Like, the last fucking Tom Clancy game I think I ever played was Rainbow Six Vegas 2. And that was for the 360, like a generation before. But ever since then, I have just stayed the fuck away from Tom Clancy games. It's, like, even the fucking Division games. Like, I've just kind of stayed the hell away from them as well. It's just getting to the point where it's just like, can you just stop, please? You're just not doing it for me, like, at all.
I know, right?
Like, it's just become cancer.
I agree.
For lack of a better word, it's spread.
I agree, actually, because The Division was the next thing I was going to mention.
Oh yeah, because there was Division 2 that's just come out.
Yes, Division 2. Regrettably, as much as they're trying to add more to it, I just don't see any reason to actually play this. I mean, I will say one thing that I do like that's Tom Clancy related. I do like Wildlands, in a sense. One thing that I think is actually kind of funny is the Spanish voice acting. The action for the most part is run of the mill, but it's cool and all, and the fact that Ghost Recon Wildlands actually seems pretty awesome. And one thing that really really is funny about it. Well, okay, like I said, the Spanish voice acting's good, but the English voice acting is so bad it's laughable. It was just great. You can tell that they have so much emotion in their voice. They must stop the terrorist. He's gonna kill everyone. It's like they just didn't care, like they were paid less. Oh my god, they got like some sort of slave shop of voice actors for that game. Like voice. He's like, oh, I miss it. No. It's like they're trying to do their voices. Like, no, you're showing too much emotion. Oh, hurry, we have to stop the terrorists. No, so I have less emotion.
So the direction in the studio is like less emotion.
Less emotion, the better. It's like abstract art. The shit is the new good. Oh my god! Yeah. It's like the black dot. It's like the, what do you call that? The anti-arts or whatever, art that isn't art.
I don't know. I call it shit, but
yeah, whatever. Well, that's what it is. The Dahlias or bad Dahlias or something like that. Then the next one is Just Dance 2. I mean, Just Dance 2019, because it's literally just called Just Dance. But I'm not interested in this shit. No. It's a rhythm game, and it may appeal to some, but I'm not good at it.
It's appealed to some in a way that there's like a whole tournament based on it, but
How?
Again, I don't know. But it's a thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's a thing apparently. Yeah, there's an actual like Just Dance tournament revolved around Just Dance, but it's not my thing.
Yeah, it sucks.
It really just isn't my thing. And
Yeah.
so I mean, there's people that like it, and that's cool.
Why? I don't understand. And it's funny how they use this as like the intro for the press conference.
Yeah, that's Is it kind of wrong for me to say that every time I look at Just Dance, I might sit there thinking, man, Dance Dance Revolution was cooler than this. It's just kind of embarrassing. But that's just my opinion, because I think because I've grown up with Dance Dance Revolution, and I'm like, this is shit. But then I guess, times are changing and all that crap, and then here's Just Dance 2, and I don't know, I just don't really see myself dancing to it at all.
Just Dance. Well, yeah, it just looks like basically re-releasing of the same game, but yeah, some other things that's kind of interesting, but I haven't exactly played For Honor. It's basically a DLC that's coming out for
I
Honor.
did hear about that. I believe there was like a new game mode called Breach, and there was a new expansion called Marching Fire for Honor. In fact, the thing I find kind of sad about For Honor is I remember like before the game even came out, there was so much fucking hype going towards it, and then just out of fucking nowhere, that just vanished.
Oh yeah, go on.
I mean, I've not played For Honor, so I'm wondering, was it shit, and that's why people just kind of forgot about it, or is it just one of those games where it's just like they played it and then it's just like, oh, more games, and then just got lost in the shuffle kind of thing? But I don't know.
I was uncertain about actually trying it out. Plus, I believe you have to actually pay money to play it. It's not free to play. And I don't play a lot of multiplayer games in general. I have like some that I play, and I'm willing to get into some new ones. But yeah, For Honor, I'm not certain about because I never played it. Or the
I've seen a lot of fucking trailers for it, but I've never played it just because. Yeah,
it just didn't interest you. It's fine.
It's just kind of like a last minute kind of. Actually, I prefer this other game.
Okay,
Which happens.
The next one that I think was actually hilarious in its own way was Trials Rising. Because apparently, for some reason, this is what the public wanted. Another fucking Trials game. Trials Fusion is actually not too bad, but is decent. But this... Okay, it may actually prove to be good, but what more can you do with it?
Yeah, I mean, because let's think about it, right? I mean, obviously there was the original Trials.
Yep.
Which kind of, it was the starting game. It was like a starting point. You know, it got a little better with what was it called? Trials. Oh, because there was a Trials. No, wait, I'm trying to think. Because there was Trials, and then there was the second one, and then there was Trials Fusion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think what the fuck the second one was called. I can't remember. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember it. But what impressed me was that there's like a section where there's like all these different like game modes that you can download, and all of them just seem like completely different games to Trials entirely. But like these people just like spent loads of freaking time recreating levels, because I think in the second one there was one level where they've recreated. You know the scene in Terminator 2: Judgment Day,
Yes.
where Schwarzenegger's trying to like drive away from a giant truck.
Yeah.
Someone perfectly recreated that in like a level in the second Trials game, which I thought was fucking mind blowing. Thinking, how the fuck do you do that? And then it's like Trials Fusion is like all futuristic and stuff like that, and I'm thinking, where do you go from here?
I know, right?
You've gone all futuristic, and I think there's even like a unicorn DLC thing for it as well. Because fuck it, why not?
You know what? You know what it's missing from that? Deadpool. Him riding on the back of it. I don't know. For some reason, I thought it'd be funny.
Well, they'd have to go through a lot of negotiations with Marvel before doing that. But yeah, yeah. But Trials Rising, I mean, it looks okay, but I'm like, what's been done different?
Well, you have to understand, we added the multiplayer.
There was already a multiplayer, so
Okay, so we added some new things that you can do, like spinning in the air.
Again, it's just like a lot of what they showed is like, we did this in the previous games. We also did that in the previous games, and yes, the crazy fucking deaths of what's been established, Trials Fusion.
Well, okay, so
but,
let me tell you what we did next. We kind of added a progression system, and that's about it. A few new places as well. I don't know, I just thought it would be hilarious. Like, he comes in, he's all drunk, and he's trying to stand up.
Probably just like an employee at Ubisoft, just like after a meeting.
Yeah, I know, right? It's funny.
Yeah.
He's trying to push this idea to them. It's just like fucking what's his name? It's like what the Iron Sheik or Sheik says from
Iron Sheik.
It's Sheik, right? Iron Sheik from fucking WWE. I love what he said.
Yeah, the Iron Sheik. Sorry, I'm just having this terrible image of just like going to like a milkshake place. You're like, you have any iron flavored? But yeah, I know what you mean about the whole Iron Sheik. You know, break his back and make him humble.
It's like Iron Sheik. How do you feel about Trials Rising? Fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is it makes me propose a question. Hey, Aaron, you know how you like to play Sea of Thieves?
Let me guess, Skulls and Bones?
Yes, apparently it's Ubisoft's answer to Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, I literally just called this Ubisoft Sea of Thieves. I literally just looked at the game thinking, this is Sea of Thieves.
It looks really good.
Like, I mean, it looks good, but it's like, you know, it's like I've played Sea of Thieves. I've actually played Sea of Thieves, and I enjoy it. And I'm not going to say it's a perfect game, because, yeah, there are some problems with Sea of Thieves, but it's like, it's kind of like problems that I could just ignore, but I'm like, Ubisoft Sea of Thieves, or Skull and Bones, as they called it. It's like, watching the commercial, it's just like, oh, you could ride a ship and a crew. You could do that in Sea of Thieves. Oh, you can go to islands and loot for treasure. You could do that in Sea of Thieves. Oh, look, there's another pirate ship that you can destroy to get the loot from that. You can do that in Sea of Thieves. Oh, but then it's like teammates that could probably stab you in the back and thieve you. That also happens in Sea of Thieves.
Let me see if I can do a good French accent for this. So this is what you'll do. Okay, we are going to make sure that we take the idea that Sea of Thieves has done and try to basically make our own version that's less cartoony. Because it's like art.
Like, that's it. Sure, we have these Sea of Thieves. It's a bit too cartoony. That, you know, too many fat people and lanky people. So instead, why not we make it a bit realistic, like Pirates of the Caribbean, but that has ghosts in it. I don't care, monsieur. I don't care. But Ubisoft Sea of Thieves, but then we called it something generic, like Skull and Bones, because, Skull and Bones, like on a pirate flag. It just,
Hey, it might be good.
like, I mean, it looks good, but I think the only difference is, it's like, there's a weird angle where it's like, you're as the character can actually go onto the mast, and you, like, lean and look at ships. That's different from Sea of Thieves, but the rest of it's just Sea of Thieves. I mean, it looks good, but there's that horrible gut feeling when I'm thinking, this is Ubisoft. They're usually good at fucking things up.
He's like, okay, so you, consumer, what's your name, Aaron? Okay, well, here's the thing I'd like to propose to you. How do you feel about Assassin's Creed games?
Well, considering the last Assassin's Creed game I've ever played was like Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, ironically enough, is pirate themed in a way. But, that was a cool game, pretty fun to play as. Well, pretty fun to play in any words. But then it's just like, the majority of the games of the series, or just the games after Black Flag, just didn't impress me. Though, what annoyed me was, saw the trailer for Assassin's Creed Origins, I believe, which was based in, like, ancient Egypt, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the bit where you, like, can spy on people from an eagle's vision, which is cool. But then, I think they introduced fucking loot boxes to that fucking game, and I'm like, nope.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely bad. Well, since considering how you seem somewhat passionate about the AC games, we present to you another Assassin's Creed game! Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Take that, Nintendo!
Well, okay, here's the thing about... I do have a few things to say about Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Right, okay, so the idea that it's based in, ancient Greek, or ancient Greece, that's pretty cool, because, I do like a bit of Greek mythology myself.
I don't like this. Too greasy.
I'm kidding. Good, continue.
Anyway, so it's based in ancient Greece, which is cool. And then the first thing is like saying, you could play as either a man or a female. Pokemon beat you to the punch. But yeah, anyway, it was like, you can play as a male and a female character. I think the female's called Cassandra, and I forget what the male's character name is. But it's like, what I did find a bit of a off-putting thing about the trailer is, in the cutscenes where the characters talk to each other, the lip movement and the face animation looks really fucking awkward and clashes with the voice acting.
I know, right?
It's like, it's kind of strange how I look at an older game like, I don't know, LA Noire. I hit the face and lip movement in that fucking game is so fucking impressive. And then you look at this game, it's like, the fuck are you doing, Ubisoft? Like, well, it's like the characters even look like a deer in the headlights sort of vision. It's just like, And then it's like you listen to the voice acting and you look at the lip movements and it just doesn't fucking match. It's like, this is really fucking weird.
I know, right? Well,
and then they introduced this thing, which is, I think they claim it as like conquest battles, which is basically just like, imagine you being on an island and there's like a fuckload of people to beat up. And well, obviously you don't beat up everyone, like not your fucking teammates anyway, but just like, the people you help are in trouble, and there's like a lot of people on the island. Kill the people that are on the island that are beating up your teammates. And it's just like, okay, this is weird.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like Assassin's Creed Odyssey is like, I like the setting of ancient Greece, but the rest of it's a big question mark.
Yeah, I know, right? It may be good.
Which is the exact problem I have with Origins. It's like, I like the fact it's based in ancient Egypt, but the rest of it's a fat fucking question mark.
Like, yeah, the mission structure and all.
Though what's kind of sad about Assassin's Creed Origin is the main character is called Bayek, and then what kind of ruins it me is like when you watch like the old auction fucking shows of like people like trying to sell things, it's just like, because I think like one of the British ones is like a bloke that's like pronounce it like, who wants to buy it, like the pronunciation, and then it's like you have a fucking character called Bayek, and that's all I'm gonna think of from now on. But,
yeah,
who wants to buy it?
Just imagine him being in like, I don't know, a fucking Tekken game and fighting Bake Dusan or Bayek Dusan. It'd be hilarious. And for some reason he would win, because apparently the main character Bayek would probably be fucking overpowered. Because it would happen, because it has happened before, because when Ezio from the Assassin's Creed games was in Soul Calibur, he actually was overpowered to shit. And oh yes, and the next bit of rental fodder, and I like this game because StarFox is in it. as a Nintendo Switch exclusive because Nintendo are fucking assholes like that.
And of course, StarFox is Nintendo, so yeah.
Yes, like I said.
It would seem kind of fucking weird if you're like, oh, coming out for the PlayStation 4, Super Smash Bros. Or some shit like that. I'm like, hang on a fucking minute.
Yes, it's like I said before, they're fucking assholes for having Star Fox as an exclusive, but whatever. Even though a lot of their older games can be emulated on PC. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
The game is called Starlink Battle for Atlas. It actually
here,
doesn't look that bad.
I mean, it doesn't look that bad. Though I think they were saying stuff like, oh, it's a crossover between like Ubisoft and Nintendo, where I think it's like based on like a toy manufactured thing, and I'm like, wait, toy manufacture? What the fuck do you mean? And it's like, oh, well, you know stuff like Skylanders and Disney Infinity, and I'm like, oh, that kind of game. Like they're gonna sell like a bunch of toys that you just put on a pad, and it's like, oh, you're that character now. I was like, oh, great, this chestnut again.
Oh, great, amiibos.
Yeah.
Wonderful. This is what we wanted. I love toys even more now.
So one thing I did notice in the trailer is like at the beginning where I think the woman was like speaking through the thing, like there's actually a reference to like the speech noise for like the Super Nintendo Star Fox games where it's just like like you know the way that they speak in like that game. It's like that's literally what they sound like in this weird telecom at the beginning of the trailer. And it's like I remember this. It's like like. Out of the Star Fox games they've released, it's like 2 games I liked, or 3 if you want to count the unreleased sequel.
Which one was that again?
Yeah, it was like Star Fox 2, which was originally going to be released on the Super Nintendo, but then they cancelled it.
Right.
So when they did the classic SNES, you know, the mini SNES thing, they put Star Fox 2 on that because the game was finished, but never released.
Huh.
Like it's all finished and ready to go, but it's like, nope. But it's like, okay, out of all the Star Fox games, it's like the first game I actually, you know, at the time I really enjoyed it. I know it's obviously not aged well, but, you know, it was the time. And, you know, even then, it's like, I remember this. I'm a little biased with it, I guess. Though I do like Star Fox 64.
Yeah,
very memorable, very replayable. And, you know, just a lot of the voice acting was kind of fucking hilarious. Just like,
yep.
I remember there was like one time where I think there was like a voice actor where I think, was it Falco?
Yeah.
Falco, I think was the name, yeah. Because I think he's meant to say Fox behind you, but because of the voice acting, it says, fuck behind you! It just, the way he said it in the voice acting, like, obviously in the subtitles it's like, Fox behind you, but it's just the way that he said it, it just sounded like, fuck behind you! It was like,
I know,
what?
right?
Jeez, I know Nintendo had fucking Conker's Bad Fur Day, but Jesus Christ.
It's like, Aaron, fuck behind you!
But yeah, Starlink Battle for Atlas, it's like, it looks good, and it's like, oh, Fox McCloud. Welcome back. It's just a shame that you're in this game.
And not your own fucking game like you've been for years, even though you were in that bad Zelda clone, Star Fox Adventures.
I'm really curious to see how these fucking Ubisoft and Nintendo collaborations work. Do they have like 2 separate roulette wheels? Like one of just like Ubisoft projects and the other of like Nintendo characters? Like for the first one, it's like throw a fucking, I don't know, a knife or a dart and it lands on like rabbits, and then like the second one it lands on Mario. And then I guess for this one it's like whatever the fuck the Ubisoft project was.
I know, right?
Because is Starlink the project? Because I think when I first saw this and when I saw like Fox McCloud, it's like, oh, Nintendo have done it again. They've given a different name to the Star Fox franchise. No, because, oh, Jesus Christ, the amount of freaking different names they've given freaking Star Fox, particularly in Europe, is just kind of ridiculous.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Okay. If I could just rethink my footings for a second. Because I know the original Star Fox, Christ, I'm trying to remember now. Like, the original Star Fox, which I believe was originally called something else. Oh, yeah, that was it, Starwing. Yeah, it was literally called Starwing in Europe, like the original Star Fox on the Super Nintendo. For some reason in Europe, it was just called Starwing. But then they also did the same for fucking Star Fox 64. But this time in Europe, it's Lilac Wars. Thankfully after this, they just kind of thought, oh, you know what, fuck it, let's just keep calling it Star Fox for all regions. So this ridiculous name. I don't even know why the hell they didn't even call it Star Fox to begin with. But it's like in this one, I'm thinking, is Starlink the new name for Star Fox? But it's like, nope, it's just Star Fox, well, Cox McCloud from StarFox is in this, and I don't know.
Just like how he suffered through that terrible, fucking, what was it? There was Star Fox Assault, which that game was short and shit, and just wasn't handled well at all. And the attack of the bug aliens called, the Aparoids. And for some reason, a Wolf has a much deeper voice this time, making him sound a lot older than Fox.
I've come.
Instead of him sounding like this from Star Fox 64, or, what was the other game? The 3DS version of Star Fox 64, which is good, but the voice acting sucks. It's worse. It's duller, but whatever. And here's the thing. Like I said, Star Fox Adventures was that one Zelda clone that didn't really work out.
Fun fact, actually, about that game.
What is it?
Originally, it was going to be like a different IP game entirely, which was going to be released. Yeah, that was it. Dinosaur Planet, I think it was called. Because that was what it was originally going to be, and that was what Crystal was going to be in. But then, who's the head honcho of Nintendo? I forget his name.
It's not Masahiro Sakurai. It's not. Is it Iwata?
I forget his name, but he's like the guy with like the sort of medium length black hair kind of thing.
Are you talking about Shigeru Miyamoto?
That's the one. Sorry, I couldn't think of his name there for a minute, but yeah, he basically like looked at it thinking, you know what? Why don't we just make it a Star Fox game instead? And it's just like, I kind of wanted it to be its own game personally, but that's just me.
I agree, actually. I will say the melee attacks are pretty cool, though.
Yeah, I mean, melee attacks are cool. It's just kind of weird how you see like Star Fox is just like, I can't fly in space anymore. Why is this?
I know. I really also like how Andros is at the end of the game, like how he sounds. Instead of him sounding like this, he sounds like he has a cold and is trying to do a Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. I've been looking forward to this day, to see you again, Fox McCloud. And now to destroy the Lineland system!
And I can pretty much just pinpoint the reaction of Crystal when she was first introduced to the Star Fox game. Oh my god, they've introduced a new female Star Fox character. I must draw porn of it.
Yep.
Because that's literally what happened the minute that character was introduced. Porn everywhere.
Yep. Furry's running wild with that shit.
Internet's a crazy place.
Yes, it is. Now, that pretty much concludes Ubisoft, which did an alright job.
I'll say this, not to spoil anything, it was better than E3. I mean, EA, sorry.
Yes, we will get to EA in a bit, because we're saving the best for last. Like that one soft song, if you heard of it.
Yeah.
Save the best for last, or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, the next one is... Ooh, these people actually surprised me. Microsoft.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, good grief, was this such a hell of a fucking presentation. Good grief. Like, considering this came, like, after EA's conference, I was just kind of, like, miserable after watching EA's, but we'll get to that. But then, oh god, did Microsoft put a smile on my face.
Same here, with so many good games here, and,
I just remember, like, watching, like, all the games that they showed up, I'm like, my poor wallet.
Okay, we're gonna start off with some lulls right now. One of the games that they was shown was a Bethesda game, Metro Exodus. I absolutely love the freaking narrator, the totally angry Russian.
Or as I basically quoted here, Metroid Exodus in Soviet Russia, we scream in trailer at you. Because that's literally the best way I could describe this trailer. It's just like this angry sounding Russian just screaming in the trailer. Like, I mean, the game looks interesting, but it's just like kind of hard to ignore the narration.
We must fight now! Destroy everything that opposes us! I love the sound of this voice!
And then they all just like throw potatoes. Like, sir, why are we throwing potatoes? It's because grenades are very valuable.
Yes, they are! And it's even better! They explode!
Like the potatoes explode just to make it funny.
basically,
Soviet Russia will use potatoes instead of grenades.
I saw now the potatoes just become dry mashed potato, but it's just like in clumps all over the place.
Oh yes, and it's like just imagine Mr. Potato Head reacting to this. What the fuck is this shit? I am offended. I wish I was human. Otherwise, you would suffer for this.
But it's like the Metroid series is like a series I am well aware of. It's just, I don't know, I just never really kicked my foot in my ass to even play one. But I don't know why, I just never got around to playing it.
I will help you. I'm gonna kick your ass right in and pull you at the same time.
I'm trying to think, I mean, have you ever played any of the Metro games? Because I haven't, but I'm aware of...
Okay,
yeah.
I actually have. I played Metro Last Light, and to be honest, it's actually based on a series of books. Just like how the Tom Clancy games are actually originally came from books. Well, Metro came from books too, actually, and it's quite an interesting narrative. And the bugs that move, the big-ass bug monsters that you fight, those, with how they moved, it wasn't just impressive. It scared the piss out of me. I'm not saying a lot because I'm a creature of the night. But that's impressive when something like that scares you. It scared me anyway. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
and you have to make sure to watch your... Hold on. I'm going to throw out some trash. Hang on. Okay, so I'm back. And the thing is that with this game, with Metro Last Light, you basically have to watch your health and make sure that you have oxygen, because it's a barren dystopian wasteland, and of course there's monsters,
because of the whole like nuclear toxins and all that shit. Yeah.
Yes, and you have to wear a mask and all, and you have to change it. It's pretty damn hectic. So you're going to have to be very careful, and there's going to be times where you have to run like crazy to get to a next point, otherwise you will die.
Yeah, I will say this game easily on like the maybe list for me. It's like, I like the look of it, but I'm still not sure whether I want to buy it or not.
No, you don't have to buy it, I don't think. But give it a try to see for yourself. It's just, it's going to be hell in some regards, based on what I told you. The next one is kind of a love letter for me, this next game. Now, of course, I'm interested in playing these said games that I'm telling you about on PC, Metro Exodus being one of them. Ah! Okay, I'll stop. That's too much. Devil May Cry 5 is this next game that I saw the trailer for. It was really good, but what is up with Nero's the gameplay and graphics? It all looks really good and action packed like it's supposed to, but what the hell is up with Nero's hair? I don't know, he looks weird.
To be honest, I mean, I know that was kind of like the first thing that you noticed with the Nero in the trailer, but actually the first thing that really bugs me is his mechanical fucking arm.
I know,
like,
this isn't Bionic Commando?
Yeah. Like, what the fuck's gonna happen? Is Spencer gonna be like DLC for it next or something?
Maybe his blood was extracted from him and he had to get a mechanical arm because, you know, his arm must have been cut off or something.
I don't know.
And also I'm thinking, like, this is a sequel to, like, Devil May Cry 4, so where the fuck's Kiri? I mean, the chick that's with him apparently isn't Kiri. Apparently her name was, like, Nico or some shit like that.
That's her name?
Like, apparently, well, yeah, the sidekick with the glasses, her name is Nico. It's not even Kiri. So
it's not Kiri.
No, it's not Kiri, and I don't think I saw her for the entire trailer, so I'm thinking, wait, don't tell me, like Bionic Commando, that fucking mechanical arm was made out of Kiri. Because that would make me really sad if that was the case.
It's sad.
Because that was the fucking plot to the Spencered Bionic Commando, was literally like his wife was just turned into this mechanical arm, which I thought was the dumbest fucking idea I've ever heard in my life.
I know, right?
It's like, where's my wife? You're wearing her. But yeah, this Devil May Cry 5, I mean, it looks great, but yeah, I will say with the mechanical arm is what really bothered me about Nero, because I'm like, when the fuck did he get it? I mean, the only thing I ever got out of the trailer is like, Nico basically says, oh yeah, this arm was designed to kick demons' ass. I'm like, that's it? That's the explanation?
Yeah, like, I know, right? I mean, there's probably going to be more of an explanation later on. Like I said, it's either his blood was extracted or his arm was probably chopped off, or it was either one of a few things. Either his arm got chopped off and he can't regenerate it back, so he ended up getting a bionic arm. That's one possibility. The other possibility would be that they nerfed him, of course, and then he basically ended up getting a bionic commando arm, and he was probably saved by Nico, or whatever the hell that chick's name is.
Nico. Yeah, that's the name, yeah.
Yeah, Nico. Okay. At least her last name isn't Bellic. That'd be weird.
Hey, cousin, do you want to give me a bionic arm for the last time, Roman? No. Sorry. Anyway, yeah. I mean, if it was explored more into the whole like bionic arm thing, like if there was more of an explanation, I probably would be like, oh, okay, that at least makes sense. It's just kind of weird how you have like Nero. It's like, the fuck is that on your arm?
So all they need now is Virgil and some other characters. And where's Lady and Trish? They need to be in here as well. We know Dante's going to be in, but he shows up like at the very end on a motorcycle.
Yeah, Dante just kind of shows up in the area. I think it was just the thing like, oh wait, shit, we got to at least show Dante so we don't piss off the fans. I'm guessing that was the reaction. But at the same time, it's like, well, at least he looks a bit older and doesn't look, I don't know, black-haired and emo, at least.
I know, right?
But yeah, so at least this is like, okay, so this is like the real Dante. Okay, that's cool. I'm at least in safer hands with that, at least. But again, this is Capcom, so who knows? I mean, like I said, if there's a bit more explanation on the mechanical arm, because here's the thing, I've played Devil May Cry 4 and I've completed it, and it's like, yeah, we're aware he has a bionic arm, but where the fuck does the mechanical arm bit comes into it? It's just like, oh, we gotta at least hide it or something. Well, could you just get like a cast or something? Or just a big glove?
Yeah, or like an arm sleeve or something.
Oh god, I'm just getting this horrible image of like him as a doctor, and there's like Kiri on the table, just like, bend over, please. But anyway, yeah, I think with a bit more explanation on the arm and everything, I'd be intrigued to give Devil May Cry 5 a try. Though what confused me actually was, I think they originally said, oh, Xbox exclusive. Like, this isn't exclusive, it's a PlayStation 4 as well, you morons.
Yes, exactly. One thing to also note, this game is so interesting to us that we have linked it in the description, and along with some other select highlighted games. Basically, they're all, of course, to YouTube videos that, of course, go into detail about the game in case they weren't shown at E3 or whatnot. So anyway, moving on. Those links will do most of the talking there in terms of making you decide on whether you want to actually get into it or not. But anyway, the next one is Darksiders 3. This game was not shown at E3. However, it is interesting.
It was last year, I remember them showing Darksiders 3, and yes, they actually are following the whole order of the Four Horsemen, which is good.
Yep.
Because I think everyone kind of predicted, I bet they're going to move on to the female member of the Horsemen, and it's like, yeah, that's exactly what they're going with.
Oh, yes. And
because I think when they heard the news of like, oh, THQ's gone bankrupt, it's like, but we can't have a Darksiders series if you're just going to miss out the last two. It's the Four Horsemen. There has to at least be 4 games.
Yep, that's true.
Because to me, that would just make sense. Because, you know, 4 Horsemen, 4 games.
Oh, yes. I really hope that...
But from what I'm seeing with Darksiders 3, it's like, I definitely want to get this.
Yeah, I want to actually try that out. Oh, sorry, I'm just clearing my throat. Let me drink some water real quick.
Okay.
So, anyway, yeah, I'm interested in Darksiders 3, but moving on to the next game that actually seemed pretty good, and it's a prequel to the first Fallout, I believe, Fallout 76.
Oh, yes.
It looks good and all, yes, but there's some bad news that I recently found out about this. Now, I might be wrong about this, but according to a link that I found, that Fallout 76 is, according to the link, it says that Fallout 76 is not going to have any NPCs whatsoever, no offline, real-time VATs, and later on mods will be put in. Now, I don't understand why the fuck this happened, because it's a prequel and shouldn't be an always-online game. That this is bullshit and something needs to be done. I don't know, there's probably already a petition for it, but somebody needs to do something about this. This needs to be changed.
The thing I find quite weird about that news is, like, I remember when I first watched the trailer for Fallout 7, I remember thinking, holy crap, this looks amazing. God damn, that song is catchy. And then, of course, the news came about, it's like, oh, it's going to be always online. I'm like, whoa, hold on. Of all the fucking game series, Fallout. And I'm like, I don't see that working. I'm sorry, but no. I mean, if this was any other game series, Like, it's not just the case of like, oh, it's a prequel and all that stuff like that. It's like, think about the game environment itself. How the fuck are you gonna make that work if it's just gonna be always online? Like, I don't see how that's gonna work. Like, so there's like, well, if it's just gonna be like all online and just like random people and shit.
This is Fallout we're talking about, not fucking Destiny.
Yeah, exactly. Like, with Destiny it worked. With Fallout, it's like, the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why they decided that would be a good idea. This needs to be changed, and maybe there's a petition for it, but in the meantime, since that shit's going on with it, I'm going to continue playing Fallout 3, 4, and New Vegas on my PC.
Well, that's the internet. Of course there's going to be like an online petition about it.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, it's a big fandom. Now, the next game interests me because I like hack-and-slash-like games, but it looks kind of cute. This is something I'd play on PC. I'd get it at a discounted price or rent it, whatever. It's called Tunic. I don't know why it's called Tunic, but apparently is. You play as some cutesy fox character, and you fight monsters and shit.
Well, here's the thing. The first thing I was thinking of when watching this is like, oh look, it's the second game from Microsoft in where the mascot is a fucking fox. Case in point, Super Lucky's Tale.
Oh, God.
Which was a generic as fuck game, and I could have swear to God when I first watched this, I'm like, oh my God, they're ripping off Tails' power from Sonic. The bastards. They just cut off one of his tails and just called it a different character.
Oh, God.
Fucking monsters. But yeah, Tunic, I'd say, is a lot more interesting looking than fucking Super Lucky's Tale.
Yes. And I'll tell you what's even more interesting. The next game that I would, of course, get on PC. This is a definite buy for me, and I think those who like FPSs or Doom or whatever would love the shit out of this. Doom Eternal, a sequel to Doom 2016.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. It was briefly shown, but I don't care. It looks cool. I'm interested.
Well, what was shown is sold me on the game. I mean, this is like part of what I would consider has been possibly one of the most successful reboots of Doom by Bethesda themselves. Honestly, they've done a fantastic job in basically rebooting the Doom series. And they've done it in a way where it's like, it's a complete love letter to the classic fans, but at the same time, it's kind of introducing it to like a modern generation. And I thought the very first Doom game, what really surprised me was when doing the multiplayer for the Doom game, it really gave me like flashbacks of like Unreal Tournament. I'm like, holy crap, I've missed this. Because it's like, most first-person shooters that I usually play, it's just like the same fucking pace. It's just like, oh, come on, give me something different. It's like, well, okay, this is different. I like it.
Well, the Quake games exist, and those are pretty damn fun. And
oh, yes.
So is Quake Champions, which is free to play for a limited time. I have included a link to that game in the description. Well, videos of it for those who are not familiar. But yes,
I'm glad to see Quake live on. So
same here. It's really good. I especially love the fact that you can play as Doom Guy in that game if you wanted to.
Oh, of course. I think even like the older game that I played, there was actually like a mod where you could play as the Doom Guy as well as Simpson characters for some reason. I wish I was making this up, but no, this was an actual mod that was put on the freaking Quake games.
And right when Homer dies, no.
Well, then again, I remember there was like an old mod I played of like the old Unreal Tournament, and there was like a mod where you could play as Dr. Evil from Austin Powers, Bender from Futurama, Eric Cartman from South Park. And just like every time they killed someone, there'd be like a quote just like saying, "Bite my metal shiny ass."
God damn.
And it was just like, I love this.
Now, on to the next game. Because I agree, it does look good and all. Yes, Quake Champions is still something good, and even when playing as Doom Guy, you can actually go into Berserk mode with Doom Guy when you play him, and I got some good kills. It was fun.
Yeah, Berserk mode is really fun.
The next game is Rage 2. And to be honest, I actually thought Rage was never going to be as impressive, but for some reason, even though the gameplay looked good and all and such, even though it seemed a bit trippy and crazy and shit, for some reason Andrew WK was actually made the Get Ready to Die theme song for Rage 2. They could have chosen a better song, but whatever, that song works, but his live performance was okay. It just felt lighter and more happy than than
Yeah,
the
I mean,
studio version.
from what I gathered, I think Andrew WK seems like a really nice dude. If you like met him in person and stuff like that, he seems like a really cool dude. But yeah, I will say there's something about the live performance that felt a bit, And yeah, it was kind of interesting to discover that he was the one that did the theme song for Rage 2. Hopefully now that could be like another thing he could be remembered for instead of just Party Hard.
I know, right?
I mean, Party Hard's a good song, but it just kind of sucks when that's like the one thing people only remember you for.
Yeah, I know, right? A lot of his songs sound the same, too, which is bad, because the guy actually does have some skills at the keyboard, and he can actually play piano.
Oh, God, yeah, he is a talented little dude. Well, I say little, but...
But yeah, you were saying?
But yeah, I was just saying, yeah, the performance is kind of weird. Rage 2, I've never played the first Rage.
It's fun. I have it on PC.
Oh, okay, cool. I mean,
made by the same people who made Doom. So it's made by id Software. Yes, yes.
Oh, right, okay.
It was a disappointment upon release, mind you, because it had a lot of lacking DLC, and the DLC that was there wasn't as good. But anyway, it's still fun.
Okay.
So basically you're in a dystopian wasteland, just like in Fallout, and you go from there as you kill bandits, monsters, and a bunch of other shit. You get cool weapons, you can upgrade your weapons, it's nice. It's just basically more linear, which is a bad thing. Enemies do, of course, come out and kill you, try to kill you, of course, and the enemies do look good, by the way. It's great.
I mean, it sounds interesting enough, but yeah, I'm still kind of putting that debate of whether I should,
John Goodman's in it. He's one of the first guys you meet.
Wait, what?
Yes. His name, he plays as a guy named Matt Hager who saves you, and he's like, "Oh, I'm Matt Hager, and you were one lucky son of a bitch." I love John Candy in this one. Not John Candy, John Goodman. I like John Goodman in this one.
Honestly, if you give him something really good to work
great.
with, he's a great actor.
Yep. Oh yes. Let's see what else is actually really cool. There's also Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I like the first one, and I first got interested into it after I saw Dishonored Wolf's review of the game.
Okay, I've never heard of the first one, the Blind Forest, or whatever it's called, Ori and the Blind Forest. Never heard of that game, to be honest. But when I saw the trailer for Ori and the Will of the Wisp,
it's like that one, actually. That's what the Ori and the Blind Forest is like.
Okay, I mean, it does look very interesting.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Let's see. Just Cause 4 is another game that looks good, but it seems like it's going to be more of the same. Even though I love one thing, they got Rico's outfit right, and, of course, just 3 has mods, and I hope that you can actually sprint in Just Cause 4, because in 3, somehow, for some reason, you can't.
Yeah.
Just Cause 4 looks like it's going to be a lot bigger, better, basically more of the same with some added features. And of course, Rico actually sounds Hispanic this time around, as opposed to Just Cause 3. Well, I'll compare Just Cause 2 and 3, because those are the 2 big ones at the moment. We could say 1, but who gives a fuck about 1? Okay, there's 2 and 3. This is how Just Cause 2 Rico sounds. I'm Rico Rodriguez. I'm here to kick ass and take down a corrupt government run by a corrupt leader. And how does the third one sound? I am Rico Rodriguez. Apparently I'm a lot whiter and I can't tell if I'm supposed to be doing an Italian or a Spanish accent. So I went with both at the same time. Hey Mario, what do you think? I think you're doing a fabulous job, you sexy bastard! I don't know. But, okay. I have a huge man crush on you. Anyway, the point is, they basically made him whiter in that one for some reason. And he has brown hair instead of, like, black, like he's supposed to. I don't know. It's fucking weird. But, it's still a fun game. And, of course, I'm going to take down that evil, corrupt government runs by a corrupt leader. Okay, Fabio.
But yeah, what I was going to say about Just Cause 4 is actually, it's just like, I mean, it looks fun, but I literally have one thing to say. Fucking tornadoes.
Fucking tornadoes, man.
Like, literally, I'm just like, looking at the trailer, I'm like, wait, a fucking tornado. It's like, oh my god, he's going inside the tornado. And I'm like, I'm sitting there thinking, wouldn't you actually die? And then I'm thinking, oh wait, it's a video game. Fuck logic, of course.
And you know what'd be funny? Like, if he actually has one of the same lines from the second one, where he literally... like when guy tries to run him over, there's a sound bit where Rico says, "Watch where you're going, you fucking lunatic." He says something like that. "Watch where you're going, you fucking lunatic. Watch where you're going, you lunatic." Or something like that.
Yeah.
I just thought it was really funny. Take that sound bit of him calling that one driver a lunatic and add it into the tornado section, like a fire truck trying to hit him. Oh, actually, a pickup truck. And he like all gets hit by it. He like, and then he's like all falls. And he's all like still flowing, like, "Watch where you're going, you fucking. Watch where you're going, you Watch where you're going, you lunatic."
I think as long as there's no sharks in that tornado, that'd be fine with me.
Oh god, that'd be terrible. And then that'd be terrible. It'd be fucking sharks everywhere. And then he basically punches one in the face. "Watch where you're going, you lunatic." It's just no. You do not. No. It's like he's just an average passerby. "I was just crossing the street, you fucking asshole." I don't know, I think it's hilarious. One game that was also not shown is Mega Man 11.
Right.
That looks really good. Any further information you found out about on that?
All I can say is with Mega Man 11 is I remember when I first saw the trailer for it and saw like the 2.5D angle of it, and I remember just like thinking, oh wow, a new Mega Man game. Finally took you long enough, Capcom, for fuck's sake. I mean,
yeah, no.
It was like, it's been like a long ass gap between Mega Man 10 and Mega Man 11. Like, I know there was like Street Fighter X Mega Man or something along the lines of that.
Yeah, and he was a fat bastard in Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
We never speak of that Mega Man.
Oh, yeah, okay, right, sorry.
Like, jeez, I mean, I refuse to even call that fucking Mega Man.
Okay, yeah, right.
Like, it literally looks like if Captain N did the Mega Man cartoon series. Like, granted, yeah, the Mega Man in that was fucking terrible, but that's what I just think of when I look at this fat prick.
Yes, and just, to me, he kind of looks like Captain N if he decided to cosplay as a Mega Man and get really fucking overweight. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Like, he just like has like these metal cheeseburgers or something. He's just like stopping away at him. Or it's just like a flying frisbee, which he thinks is a pizza. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what a robot could drink. Maybe he could just down fucking oil. I don't know.
And considering all the drama that Keiji Inafune, Mega Man's creator, has gone through with Capcom and at times making bad decisions, Mighty Number 9, things will eventually get better. Hell, there's even Mega Man Legends that got re-released, which I believe are actually pretty good.
Yeah, I wonder if Capcom are finally going to do a third Legends game, even though they fucking cancelled it, the bastards.
What the hell?
Yeah, apparently there was a case that they were going to be doing like a Legends 3, but what kind of annoyed me was when Capcom cancelled it, their excuse was not many people were interested. Apparently, they basically did like a whole petition poll thing of like how many people would want to see like Legends 3. Over 1 million people wanted to see Legends 3. And Capcom like, oh, not enough people were interested in it.
Yeah, the Mega Man Legends collections are really good. Of course, Mega Man games are hard, but it's okay. Once you get used to it, it's fine.
It's the nature of the beast, as I like to call it, with Mega Man games.
Pretty much, yes.
I mean, obviously, there's that scale of how hard. Like, obviously, the first one's going to be a pain in the ass, just because there's some things that were just frustrating as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then, obviously, they were slightly nerfed in the second game. But then again, a lot of that was just like hilarious glitches and just like hilarious cases of just like even fucking Metal Man being killed in 2 hits with his own weapon, which makes no sense, but whatever. But then I think when it got to about Mega Man 3, there was that balance, and then Mega Man 7 was when they leaped to 16-bit on the Super Nintendo, and then Mega Man 8, which was then 32-bit for the PlayStation.
Oh yeah.
With hilariously bad voice acting to boot.
Oh god.
As well as anime cutscenes, of course. And then, like Mega Man 9, they went straight back to like the 8-bit Mega Man, with heavy inspirations from Mega Man 2, hence why he can't fucking slide or anything. And then you have Mega Man 10, which actually gave you a pretty interesting choice, whether you want to do like old school Mega Man with Mega Man, or if you want to have the slide and shit with Proto Man, or just be an overpowerful god as fucking base. To the point where you can literally knock the shield off certain enemies, to the point where they're like, oh shit, you knocked my shield off, and then they turn the other way crying.
Yeah.
Just hilarious little touches like that were pretty good. But Mega Man 11, I am interested in seeing much more of the game. Kind of curious to see what the new Robot Masters is going to be in the game. So really looking forward to see how that game turns out. Hopefully it'll be better than Mighty Number 9. Because, oh god, was that fucking terrible. And that was a fucking travesty, to say the least, considering the guy that made that was the fucker that created Mega Man in the goddamn first place.
Yeah, I know, right? What the hell?
That's kind of like the tragic irony of it. Is like, this is the man that created Mega Man. He attempted to do a spiritual successor because he was fed up of Mega Man being left in the dust. Because at that point, Capcom hadn't done the fucking game movement yet. So I can see where Inafude was coming from in the heart. But, oh god, the execution was fucking horrendous.
Oh god, yes. Now, Mega Man 11, along with most games, I'm not so sure about that. Okay, Mega Man 11, along with most games that I mentioned previously that Microsoft's shown, I'm actually mostly interested in playing most of them on PC. But they did also show some other games that I would actually play on the X-Bone. Yes, I went there. And for the X-Bone, I'm actually interested in these 3 games that actually looks really good. Gears 5, Crackdown 3, and Battletoads. I guess we'll discuss those now.
Yeah, so with Gears 5, I think what was kind of weird when watching it at Microsoft's convention was originally it first showed as like the Gears characters, but as like the little pop figurine doll things.
Oh god.
And they were like breaking through the wall and everything. I'm like, wait, the fuck is this?
It's a stupid Gears Pop mobile game, which reminds me of another game, which we will get to.
Yeah, we will get to that, don't worry. But yeah, it's like Gears Pop, it turned out was like a mobile game. I'm like, this is the weird fucking idea, because this is like the only game where Pop seems to be like, oh yeah, let's do a pop game of this. And like, strange, how does that any other fucking video games of like Pop, considering they do like Pop models of fucking everything, from Marvel characters, DC characters, anime characters. Fuck, there's even one of Tekken King, for God's sake. But yeah. But yeah, it was kind of weird seeing that to begin with. I'm like, wait, the fuck is this? And then it's like, oh, but there's also this other game we have, and it's like, oh, it's a strategy game for the mobile game called Gears Tactics. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, so that's the name of the game, Gears Tactics.
Well, Gears Pop is like a separate mobile game. This is like another mobile game with
so
the
they
Gears
had 2
name.
ones. Okay.
Yeah, so they had 2 mobile games of Gears, and then they finally reveal Gears 5, which I guess a lot of people were rather fucking waiting on, rather than whatever the fuck the other 2 mobile games were. But yeah, I'm really stoked about the story of Gears 5 because the Locusts are back.
I know, right? I mean, it's crazy because you'd think that they were done for good after the end of 4.
You would have think they were done for because they never showed up in 4. But then it's like, oh, they're back again. But we want to like get rid of them for good, kind of thing. And it's like, wow.
But they never truly are going to die. This is a long-running franchise.
This is what I call the Kenny syndrome.
Kenny syndrome?
Like, you know Kenny from South Park, how he always like died in every episode, but then he'd miraculously come back in the next one.
Oh yeah, that's right,
like,
right, yeah, I get you.
That's what I feel like this is the case. It's just like, oh, we thought the Locusts were dead, but they're back again.
Yeah.
That's why I called it the Kenny syndrome.
Pretty much, yep.
But yeah, I think what I'm kind of interested in is, I think at the beginning of the trailer, it showed like a relative of one of the characters like died, and then she was like distraught, and now she's Kate, that was her name. I keep forgetting. Like, apart from like Marcus Phoenix and his son, the other characters I seem to have kind of forgotten. But Kate, that was her name. Cool. So Kate seems to have lost, I presume, a relative of hers or something.
Her mother died in the 4th game, actually. Yeah. So yes.
So maybe this could be her dad.
Yeah.
If she had one. Yeah, I think I was going to say it's more so the father because it was a bulky son of a bitch they covered up. So I'm just presuming. So I'm just presuming it was like a male rather than a female. Not trying to assume genders or anything, but I'm just thought bit bulky. Like I understand the armor's bulky, but then when you take the armor off, man, bulky son of a bitch. But yeah,
I'm guessing I hope it's not Oscar because I liked him in the fourth game. The bearded guy, basically Kate's uncle.
Oh right, so he's a relative. Oh fuck.
If it was him, but it would be hard to believe because he actually lived in the first game. Because if you watch after the credits, he basically gets out of the fucking snatcher and he's like, "Where is everybody?"
Yeah. I don't know. I guess the only way to find out is if we see more of it from the game itself, really.
Yeah. It seems like it might be good, but it seems relatively kind of slow and different in comparison to the other ones. But I don't know. Maybe they just slowed it down for dramatic effect.
I think if it's,
none of the shots were landing, though. At least in that one section of the trailer. Go on.
Yeah, I think it could be the case that they are kind of like slowing it down a bit. But because I think it's like a sort of a dramatic sort of situation where it's like this woman's just lost a relative, and I imagine it's probably doing some kind of like psychological fucking damage to her.
Of course, her mother she had to kill in the fourth game.
Yeah, so obviously she's going through some tough shit. So therefore, yeah, in her mind, the best way of doing it is to let you kill, well, what she described as like the source of it all, which is the locust. And so obviously, in order to protect her, Marcus's son sends one of his.
Okay.
But I know there's protecting someone, but kind of what this guy does is a bit, yeah.
Okay, who are we referring to? JD? Because that's Marcus's son.
JD, that was. Well, JD's the son. Yeah, JD's the son because I think he tells. There was like a black guy.
Oh yeah, Dell.
Dell, that was it. Yeah, he tells Dell to protect her. But then it's like throughout like the rest of the scene, I don't know. It's like he doesn't think she can handle herself. But it's like it's proven she can handle herself. Obviously, if shit gets fucking tough, then that'll be a good time to protect her.
Yeah.
But yeah, you gotta like understand that lost a mother, probably lost another family member. He's pretty fucked in the head. You can't really think straight anyway. So. Yeah,
there's even some Gears of War books and I believe comics as well. Maybe that'll tell more, because there are some plot holes in the Gears series.
Oh yeah, I'd imagine the comics would probably like fill in anyway, because I know they were definitely selling some Gears comics near the town center where I live. So.
Oh yes.
So yeah, there's definitely like Gears of War comics, which I'm sure will probably help fill in the gaps.
Okay. Now leading to the next game, Crackdown 3. Now, if you've never played the previous ones, let me just give you a little bit of a background picture that I'm going to paint for you. Mm-hmm. Okay, back before Rockstar Games was Rockstar Games, a certain game designer and developer named David Jones was actually part of the company. A Scotsman, by the way. Scotsman, Englishman, whatever. Anyway, the thing is... Yeah, because he was born in Scotland. Anyway, he made the very first Grand Theft Auto. The very first one. And before Rockstar was Rockstar, they were called DMA Design. And now, of course, after some point, he eventually left the company after being with DMA before Rockstar for a few years. Since he was with that company for a few years, after those few years, he basically left, started his own company. And I'm actually a bit interested in this one because I really like GTA. Let me go ahead and look up Crackdown for you so I can get the actual name of the development company, because so there's some backstory. Okay, David Jones, who is the director of it all. Real Time Worlds was the name of the development company before they eventually changed their name again to something else.
Okay.
Now, of course, Real Time Worlds eventually changed to another game. I'm trying to remember what it was called. I hope so, anyway. I'm just basically double-checking here. Let's see. So, yeah. Crackdown 1 wasn't exactly a good game where you play as a super cop and you kill gang members. Mm-hmm. And of course, there's RPG elements. You get better at driving, jumping, climbing, all that shit.
Yeah.
And yes, it's really something as to how that happened. Let's see here. There's got to be another one that eventually... Let's see, David Jones. Okay, let me look at here. Okay, David Jones. The stuff that he worked on. He also made Grand Theft Auto 2. I didn't know that. So yes, he also made APB, All Points Bulletin, which is an update to APB. And, of course, Nerd Slayer did a video on that. So if you, for anyone that's interested, check out the video on that by him. And he's working on Crackdown 3 with his now studio that's with them. I'm trying to remember what the name of the... I'm just trying to figure out what the name of the company was. Okay. Basically, when Crackdown 2 was made, it was actually had slightly better gameplay, but it necessarily wasn't as good. And the monsters, the alien monsters you fight in that one, because the game is really just the same thing repeated over and over and over, facing waves of monsters in a certain space, all while protecting a certain something. Okay? And that's mostly what Crackdown was. So Crackdown 3 looks to be a lot better. Okay, the name of it was Ruffian Games. They used to be known as... Okay, it used to be known as Real-Time Worlds. Now it's Ruffian Games. And Ruffian Games are mostly known, aside from making Kinect Play Fit that nobody played, Crackdown 2. That's what they made after the Real-Time Worlds thing was over. But anyway, Crackdown 3... I really like the trailer for this, because I'm hyped for this, and apparently Ruffian Games isn't the only people involved in actually working on this said game, because this one really sticks out to me. And I literally love the trailer, which it showed fucking Terry Crews from the Expendables movie.
God, yes.
Yes, he's been in some good trailers, really extreme and hyperactive, and I especially loved him in Deadpool too. Anyway.
God. Yeah.
The said developers, according to which, are, and they are Sumo Digital, Regent Games, Ruffian Games, and Cloud Gin. Or Cloud Gin. Okay, instead of Cloud Engine, just replace E with Cloud. Okay, Cloud Gin. Okay, so we have 4 people developing this, and I can tell you right now, I recognize, aside from Ruffian Games, Sumo Digital is a really good developer. For those who like Mario Kart, Sumo Digital is responsible for the Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing series of games, along with Sonic ASR Transformed, which is another really good one. For some reason, the Xbox 360 version of Sonic ASR, the first one that is, it actually has Banjo and Kazooie, but it doesn't have the Banjo Kazooie that we love looking at. It has the one that we don't like looking at, and that's the one from Nuts and Bolts that nobody liked.
Yeah.
And apparently these people have made some other good stuff. They helped develop Forza... Okay, let's see. Forza Horizon 2, Forza Motorsport 6, don't care. For Windows, of course. Let's see. Let's look for the interesting ones. Okay, don't care about Forza. Let's see. Even though I like the 360 version of Forza Horizon 2, but that's beside the point. Let's see. There's the PS3 version of Little Big Planet 2 that they did, and the Little Big Planet 3 one, both of which are really interesting games. So yeah, they have a really good amount of people that are actually part of this. So yes, and they also made Driver 76, but I don't care about that. But yeah, they have a good resume here. So it'd be awesome to see Crackdown 3. What are your initial thoughts on it?
I will say, to be honest, Terry Crews has kind of sold me on this game.
Yes.
I think that's the one thing I think is kind of great about Terry Crews. Sorry, Terry Crews is like he really sells the game for me, and I'm like, I really want to give this game a shot. Absolutely. It's
actually been delayed quite a number of times, but let's hope that it finally doesn't get pushed back again, because this looks so good. It does. It looked like it'd actually be good. It's another sandbox game, plays like GTA, except you're a super cop, and there's multiplayer involved, and I believe co-op, and possibly some other cool activities and shit. So, yeah. And then the next game that's really cool that I'm interested in for the Xbone, I would definitely want to play Battletoads.
Yes, like Rare basically announced that there was going to be a new Battletoads game, And I'm pretty stoked to see that as well myself, to be honest. I mean, I remember like playing the original Battletoads game for the NES, where, you know, the game was good, but there were some issues.
Yep.
One being difficulty, and the other being the fact that you can have friendly fire on your teammate, which can be a pain in the ass.
Can I say something?
Sure.
The two Battletoad games, the original one and one of the newer ones, I believe it was the next one up, that was, I think, for the Super Nintendo? Yeah, those are part of Rare Replay, and
Yes.
since Microsoft owns Rare Replay, you can only get them on Xbox One.
Yeah. Also, they also had the arcade Battletoads game on Rare Replay as well, which was violent as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Very gory and quite a rocking soundtrack. But like I say, I think Battletoads is probably like the one I usually say is I usually like adaptations where the change makes sense, and I think with this new one they could maybe, you know, fix some of the problems that were in the original Battletoads to therefore make the game better to play. At least it's just a suggestion, but yeah.
The Rare Replay versions of those previous two Battletoad games are actually pretty good. Because the versions of those are actually done well there. But this new one, we didn't even see much about Battletoads 2019.
Yeah, I think literally it was just like a couple of texts, and then you show like some sort of like animation of like the wall from that ridiculously difficult Battletoads level, and then like the cart crashing into it, and then like a tongue of a frog, or toad in this case, and then we just see the classic Battletoads logo. And it's like, you know, I'm stoked, but I'd love to see more.
Same here. So yes, hyped for that one. This next one involves Sea of Thieves, which I know you're a fan of. New features are added. I'm uncertain how to feel about it, though.
Right, so
I haven't
here's
played Sea of Thieves. So explain those features, yes.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So I have played Sea of Thieves, and they did recently do the Hungering Deep as an expansion, and basically with that expansion, it ended up being a little disappointing because literally all it was that you collect a drum, you then play the drum to summon this massive megalodon shark thing, and then you basically have to like fight it, and then you defeat it, and then I'm thinking, is there more? And it's like, nope, you defeated it, there's your reward, that's it. I'm like, oh, that's fucking disappointing. So then I see the Microsoft conference, and then they announced that there's going to be two other expansion packs, one for July called Cursed Sails, and the other for September for the Forbidden Shores. Now, difference between those two is with Cursed Sails, they're going to populate the ocean with NPC skeleton crews to fight on the ship. So basically you'll see like a ship full of skeleton crews that want to fight you because they're evil and shit, and you gotta destroy them and their ship. And then the Forbidden Shores actually expands the map more, and bear in mind, the map is fucking huge, so how the fuck they're going to expand that even more, I don't fucking know, but I'd be interested to see how they do that. But I'm hoping they're going to add a lot more content to those than what the Hungering Deep did, so yeah.
Oh, yes. I'm interested in Sea of Thieves, but I'm more likely to rent it first because I want to see how it is for me.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Sea of Thieves isn't the only one getting new added features. Cuphead is as well as a new playable character. I'm not big on Cuphead, but I enjoy it. Just
I mean, bear in
explain
mind,
who is this new character and such.
Right, so basically this new character that they speak of in this new expansion pack, which is literally called Cuphead in the Delicious Last Course, which I have to be honest, points for the name. So the new character, well, you say new, but the new playable character that they've introduced is actually the Chalice. And you'll probably mostly remember her as being trapped in fucking pots by ghosts.
Right.
And therefore defeating the fucking ghosts, and therefore you release her from the pot, and then she gives you a new magic ability. At least this time she won't be getting stuck in pots now, so...
Oh yes, finally. And I gotta say, even though she, in a sense, is not new, but she's new for players to actually be able to play as.
Yeah, a new playable character, yes.
Yep, exactly. So
I'd be interested to see how she plays out, so...
Same.
And, you know, I do think it's nice to see Cuphead get something with it, just to keep it going.
Oh, definitely. Now, of course, with all the goods that Microsoft had in store, MS also had some bad/least interesting games. Let's start with the very first one that really grinds my gears. Forza Horizon 4. Now, even though it has some new features and such, but after Forza Horizon 3, even though it's a good game, you can't fucking sell cars for in-game cash anymore. Thanks, Microsoft, you fuckers. I'm sorry, but no. That is unacceptable. The only way you can sell cars in-game now is through the auction house. Maybe they'll change it with 4, but I really don't care anymore. I mean, Forza's gotten a bit tiresome for me. But Horizon's been like the only ones I care about, mostly, because ever since I played the first Forza Horizon, I've been sold. But there are some problems with it aside from cars feeling heavy. But yeah.
The only thing I can really say is when watching the trailer for Forza Horizon 4, there was at least one question in my head. And the only reason I had this question in my head is in the trailer, you actually see like a bit where a deer crosses the road.
Can you run over the deer, maybe?
Well, I'm thinking, A, could you run over a deer? Or 2, could the deer crash into your car?
That'd be funny.
I mean, that would probably change the game up a bit and make it just a tad bit hilarious. And I bet there's probably some people just say, "Oh, it ruined my fucking car. This is ridiculous." I'm like, well, I don't know.
Picture it, a challenge. You running over a deer.
Well, run over a deer or avoid a deer crashing into you. Either works. It's a challenge either way. So.
Anything else?
Right. There was a couple of things I did also notice in the trailer. It's like there's like bits where they're actually like driving through fences and walls and trees and
just like in the previous FH games.
Which I remember being like, that's interesting. Imagine trying to do that in real life and then just wreck the fucking car. But
yes, because in the Forza games, it's not realistic entirely.
Well, no, it's a video game. I understand there is no logic in video games, but there was one thing that I kind of felt sad that they never showed up in the trailer, which I thought they were going to, is the possibility of running over chickens. But because there were like chickens all over the freaking place when they're like driving around, like, oh, run it over. I want to see you just run over the chicken. It's like, it didn't happen. Damn it.
You know, it'd be funny running into chicken mascots.
I mean, it's different. It's making me intrigued. It'd be like, could you do this in this game? But I really don't want it to be the case where it's like, I get the game and then I realise you can't do this. It lied to me.
I know, and that's not cool.
Well, but we'll see. It could be the case that, you know...
Of course, there's newer features like weather effects, and I think it's mostly just the same for everything else.
I remember there was like a weird event where they were all like on like driving along like a frozen lake, and I'm thinking, is that going to crack anytime soon?
I know, right? What the fuck?
It's just like they're driving on this. I can just see that just like boom, the car just like turns to a massive ice cube in the water.
That would be funny. It'd be funnier if the cars had faces.
so basically like Herbie in the Love. Particularly the version with fucking Lindsay Lohan in it. Because they actually decided to give the car a face.
Oh god. Let's see. Go on.
Because I think in that one they basically like made it like moved a little bar thing to show a smile or just like blink and shit. Anyway.
Now the next game actually is an EA game and is a mobile game. Of course, we already discussed the Gears Pop and Gears Tactic mobile games that sucked, but those weren't the only mobile games that sucked to us. Command & Conquer Rivals is another. Take it away, Aaron.
I have 3 words. Fuck you, EA. And the reason I say this is I've played plenty of Command & Conquer games, particularly like the very first Command & Conquer, Red Alert 2, Red Alert 3, well, not even Red Alert 1, Generals, Zero Hour, Kane's Wrath, and, you know, those games, at least to me, they were really fun to play, and, you know, they really were what I would consider Command & Conquer games. But then EA then did Command & Conquer 4, which was fucking terrible. And I, like many other, thought that was the nail in the coffin for the Command & Conquer series. Because then they made an announcement of like, oh, we're going to be doing a sequel to Generals, and BioWare are going to be developing it. And then EA cancelled it. Fuck you. And then, what makes this one even worse was I didn't even know it was a Command & Conquer game until like the trailer after demonstrating the gameplay of it. Because how it starts is there's these 2 guys that like doing like fucking sports like commentary, like trying to push this as like an, I don't know, a fucking e-game kind of thing. style. We're just like, oh, look at this game, it's fantastic. Look at this competitive gameplay. And I'm like, here's literally the gameplay of this fucking mobile game. You have a base on the left, a base on the right, a bit in the middle with 3 Triforce formation areas. You've got to capture all of those, and then whoever captures them all, a missile, which is some reason in the middle of the ground, fires up and hits the enemy base. And apparently, in order to win, that missile has to hit the enemy base twice. So I'm looking at this thinking, this looks like shit, and I'm like, why the fuck are these commentators trying to big this up as like an outstanding, like, competitive game? It's a fucking mobile game, guys. Come on, get fucking real. Okay, I'm getting to the point where I'm getting sick of mobile gaming because I don't feel it's going to catch on at all.
I know,
like,
right?
I don't think it will compare to even like the console and the PC gaming. Not even fucking close.
Mm-hmm.
But then they showed the trailer, and it starts off with just like generic soldiers and shit and tanks and bleh, missiles. But then they showed the character Kane from Command & Conquer 3: Kane's Wrath. And I'm thinking, wait, this has got to be a coincidence. They probably just like snicked the fucking likeliness of the character and just made it like a generic character. But then there was the title, Command & Conquer Rivals. And I have to ask, of all the games, all the fucking game franchise you could make a fucking mobile game of, why Command & Conquer? How the fuck's that going to work?
Okay, I don't know if they did this already, but believe it or not, I do like it when they did it with Fire Emblem, but at the same time, I haven't played Command & Conquer, so I don't know what to say. Other than, this sounds like it could be utilized badly. If anything, they're just add multiplayer to the console games and or PC game, the console and PC versions of the CNC games. So just add that to those. Why should you bother with a mobile game? Because there's a lot to keep in mind when dealing with this. It's stupid.
Because here's the thing, it's like, yeah, there's like online multiplayer on like the console, the PC versions, and heck, even on 0 Hour, what me and my uncle usually do, we do like, you know, local LAN connected games, like literally just all of us were PCs in like one room, we connect to a hub, and then there we go, we got ourselves a LAN game of guys. But I'm sitting there thinking, how the fuck is this going to work on a mobile game? Because of all the game, I don't think this will work. It's not going to work as a mobile game. It's like literally as if I feel, at least deep inside, that they've given up on the fucking Command & Conquer series, and it's just like, oh, we still got a market in that mobile gaming shit, so why not throw that out there? I would have strongly preferred a fucking PC/console game, though I'll most likely play it on PC because that's just the tradition of Command & Conquer, at least with me anyway. Mm-hmm. I don't know, it's weird. I know it's kind of weird. It's like certain games I'll play on PC and certain games I'll play on console, but whatever. But I would have preferred like at least a new PC Command & Conquer game, one where they actually look back at Command & Conquer 4 and thought, yeah, that was a fucking terrible idea. Yep. Let's turn that around and make it good. But instead, you've put it on a platform that I don't think many people are going to give 2 fucks about anyway. And, you know, it's really sad because I remember when this franchise meant something, and then it's like, now it's like as if EA just doesn't care, so they're like, fuck it, throw it on a mobile phone, see how that does.
It's stupid. It's like a go-to gimmick now. It's like, it needs to stop.
Yeah, it does. Like, okay, there are some mobile games which are good, but now it's just getting to the point where it's like, oh, everything's got to have a mobile game. No, not everything needs to be a fucking mobile game. Gears of War doesn't need a mobile game, but that fucking happened anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it does work. Well, I'll say this. Some mobile phone games work, like the Ace Attorney games, Steins Gate, but those are visual novels, but still they are interesting for a mobile game because it can work. Especially with Fire Emblem Heroes, even though that's an online ordeal, and there's games like Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, which also is really good.
Yes. Also, another mobile game which I have played, which I think is a great concept, Iron Maiden Legacy of the Beast.
Dope. I played Mega Worm, so...
Yeah, I mean, honestly, because I think when I saw the news of like the Iron Maiden game, I'm like, holy crap, I have to at least give this a try. And, you know, I was very impressed with it, and it was a different gameplay style. It reminded me of Advance Wars in a way, where basically it's like you select an attack, and you basically then attack the enemy, and then just try and beat the enemy, and then you get like a big fat fucking reward at the end. And the story of the game is very intriguing, because one thing I kind of got out of it is like there's going to be a lot of story and a lot of characters, and trust me, there is a lot of characters, as well as like a very decent little story of like Eddie going through all these different time periods to defeat like a greater evil.
Well, that's awesome. What kind of game is this again?
Well, I'm
like
trying
the
to think
genre, I mean.
Oh, the genre, right. Ooh. It's very turn-based.
That's fine. I like that.
So, it's very turn-based, very RPG element with it, which I guess makes sense considering the whole the whole mystique of like the Eddie mascot and his different incarnations. And, yeah.
Another game that seems not as interesting for me is Captain Spirit, mainly because I'm tired of Life is Strange already. Captain Spirit, I believe, is made by the same people who made Life is Strange, I think, because it sure as hell looks a lot like it, and it's
In fact,
set in the same universe.
Yeah, from what I heard, it is set within the same universe as Life is Strange.
Yep. I mean, it just seems like it's another one of those point-and-click adventures. I'm not saying it won't be bad, but it just doesn't interest me. One thing that doesn't interest me as much is particularly because I've fallen out of Soul Calibur, but I'm not saying it's a bad game. It just... That would be Soul Calibur 6. But,
yeah, I'll say this. I was extremely disappointed with Soul Calibur 5.
Why is that?
Like, because I mean, Soul Calibur 4 I really enjoyed, particularly because it felt like it was, you know, what I would call like the decent formula of a Soul Calibur game. But like Soul Calibur 5, it was like, first of all, the arcade game felt meaningless, because you know with like some arcade games you complete like the arcade game, and then you get like the ending for the character that you play as. You get none of that in Soul Calibur 5.
Damn.
Absolutely none of that. And there's something about a story that, I don't know, a part of it was like, I was intrigued, but then it's like, I'm not really interested anymore, because both the characters, the main characters at least, are very fucking unlikable.
Oh, yeah.
So one of them gets tricked easily and turned evil easily, and the other one just comes across as a prick.
Wow.
So I was really kind of, and it's really kind of made me fall out of love with Soul Calibur was because of that game. But now that I see Soul Calibur 6 is back, and it seems like it's returning back to
its former glory.
Its former glory, which gives me hope for Soul Calibur 6 at least. Though I will say I did find hilarious times with the character customization, especially for Soul Calibur 4. Because I remembered a mixture of like making people like laugh, because there was one where I created Dr. Eggman on Soul Calibur 4. Because literally what I did was I basically like used like Voldo's fight style, and then literally his weapon was just like egg beaters. It made sense to make, you know, Dr. Eggman, and then it's like Voldo's Joker, which is just basically like egg mixes. But what was quite hilarious, what some guy said, was when Voldo runs, when I made like Dr. Eggman like run, it's like, oh my god, he runs like Eggman. I'm like, holy shit, you're right. Like this has been I mean, I couldn't exactly get like the ridiculous mustache, but what I got was close enough.
And the next game is actually made by the Dark Souls games and Bloodborne developer From Software, and that is Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. Now, I'm just going to say this right now. I fucking hated Bloodborne, but that's mainly because of a bad impression it gave me. Because right when starting the game, okay, you're given trick weapons, which aren't real weapons, right? No, you literally have to die a lot, and you should be given a fucking weapon at the start when you make your character / class or whatever the fuck. So it doesn't really make sense as to why the fuck they did this. I got so angry to the point of laughter because I thought this was a joke. I thought it was a prank. I thought it was a prank that somebody played on me. That's what happened. But yeah, it looks good. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice.
Yep.
Really? Because for a second I thought they just died once. What, do they have 2 lives or something? What are you telling me?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, Sekiro looks interesting, but I don't care for it. Moving on
Yeah,
to
I'm kind of like saying it is interesting, but again, a massive debate.
yeah, because of the people, the Dark Souls fans saying it's because you need to get good. Well, what if I just don't like the game? Come on now. I do like Dark Souls 3, but that's mainly because I'm playing the PC version, and it works most of all for me. So, moving on to Microsoft's rental fodder, at least what I considered rental fodder. Dying Light 2 is one of those said games.
I would have to agree with you on that, because I've never played the original Dying Light.
It's good on PC.
But I see like the second one, it's like, it's interesting, but again, debatable.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
You got to get it on sale. It's one of those games. But
Yeah.
I can't. All it does. What's new about Dying Light 2 aside from possibly, I don't know, some possibly more activities? What more can you do with Dying Light? It's made by the same people who made Dead Island. You know, the one zombie game that nobody liked.
God.
Even though Dead Island was lousy in basically being so bad it's good type of game. Because you don't even need to play the story all that much, but yeah, mods are what make those games fun. But you know, Dying Light 2. What's new that you can basically just jump and kick zombies? But haven't you already been able to do that before?
I don't know.
Anyway, next game, Cyberpunk. Ooh, this looks good. I'd want to play this on PC.
I will say the way Microsoft closed the conference with this was kind of impressive, because before it shows like the actual footage of the actual game itself, it starts off with what looks like a CMD screen. If it was like looked in for a Virtual Boy, it was like black with like red text.
Mm-hmm.
And then like puts all the command prompts, just like load the game, and then you see like Cyberpunk 2077. I doubt I'd live to that year anyway, but that's besides the point. It looks impressive, but again, I'm in this horrible debate with this fucking game, which is like, should I really fucking get this or not?
Rental. That's how it should be determined, because we'll have more to say about that when we actually play it, see gameplay or whatever. Let's see. Jump Force. Now, this is basically part of the Jump All-Stars / J-Stars Victory series of games, where a bunch of anime characters fight. Now, of course, some people have said that this is a Naruto, One Piece, and Dragon Ball Z type fighting game, but really, Jump is part of J-Stars, or Jump Stars, or whatever. Those games have been made before, mostly in Asia, so you could see exactly where they're going with this. They're possibly going to make more, or maybe it's going to be more of the same. I don't know, but it's similar to J-Star's Victory Plus, I think it's called.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're definitely going to probably add like more anime characters, because I think in the last game, Ichigo Kurosaki from Bleach was in it, and so was Ken Shiro from Fist of the North Star. So those characters I'm at least expecting in Jump Force. But I don't know, maybe they'll add characters from Fairy Tail. I don't know.
They should, along with fucking JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That'd be pretty nice.
Another one. And what's that newer one that's out? My Hero something?
My Hero Academia.
Maybe characters from that. I don't know.
Yeah,
just
they
a
should.
thought.
Yeah, if they can get the rights to it. The next game that looked interesting, which was the only interesting thing EA had going for them, is Anthem. That's what they showed.
Yes. I think one of two things which were interesting for EA, in my personal opinion. Like, Anthem was one of those games that looks impressive, and even the gameplay looks solid when they demonstrated that. And also BioWare developing this, so there's a bit of hope for them. Like, I know there was that whole messy situation of Mass Effect Andromeda, but I put full blame on fucking EA for that one, because I bet they rushed the poor bastards, and that's what's happened.
I know, right?
Which, unfortunately, it's one of those cases where many developers have got to an issue where they're like in the process of the game, and the publishers just like, when is this going to be done? Is it done yet? Is it done yet? Is it done yet? Is it done yet? Here's the deadline. Here's the deadline. Is it done yet? And then they're just like, alright, fuck it, we're done. and then of course that's basically the case of like when the game's actually fucking terrible, and they just, But I think hopefully they're going to learn the lesson of like, fuck the publisher, take your time and make it good. Yeah,
and then there's Sea of Thieves, which I'm interested in renting, and that's already out, so not much to say.
But there is like another game, and I think the only other game because like I said, there was like 2 games that interested me with EA's conference. Anthem was one of them. The other one is a little game called Sea of Solitude.
We will get to that, actually, but continue.
Okay, oh wait, are we going to get to that, or...?
No, go ahead and explain it, it's fine. I just wanted to explain the last piece of rental for Halo Infinite. I mean, for Microsoft, yeah.
Alright, okay. So, as I was saying, with Sea of Solitude, like, the thing I kind of like about this game is that, one, it looks different to, say, like, most games that I see, but the backstory is what really sold it for me, because it's, like, a very interesting backstory, where it's basically, there's this character called Kay. Basically, what has happened is she's just succumbed to the darkness and become a monster herself. So basically, she also suffers from like loneliness while also exploring this abandoned, submerged city, as well as encountering the creatures, in order to basically reveal or find out why she's been turned into a monster. Also, fun fact with this game, the whole city that you're basically exploring in, it's actually based of a city in Berlin, Germany, funny enough. So basically, that whole city is actually based on Berlin, Germany. And like I said, this is like out of EA's conference. Sea of Solitude and Anthem are probably the only games I liked, whereas everything else, skip.
Yeah, so we will discuss those said games in a bit, because for now, on with the goodies. Halo Infinite, this is another rental that Microsoft shown. And I can tell you that it looks like just another Halo game, because I really have some doubts, but maybe it'll be good. I'll rent that one to see if it is good or not, because we don't know much about it.
Well, here's the thing with, at least with me, with Halo Infinite, like, I think what it is, because I think 343 could say it, has suffered from the same problem that BioWare suffered with their publishers, was that Microsoft kept pushing them to pump out a new Halo game and stuff like that. And basically, that's what was the case with Halo 5, into why it felt very rushed and everything else. And so that got rushed, and therefore they got a bit of backlash for it, and then they basically just kept doing like updates and patches just to make it better. And then the same thing happened to the Master Chief Collection, because the first time that got fucking launched, you couldn't fucking start a game up in that. It's like the game just refused to start up for you, which was fucking weird and bizarre. But then that was because, again, Microsoft were like pestering fucking 343, when are you going to do a new Halo game? And then they ended up fucking rushing it out again, poor bastards. But this time, 343 are like, no. And then they eventually did like fixes to Mass Effect, to the Master Chief Collection, which made it playable, which is great, because now people can actually play on it and then all that. So while they've been working on like the next Halo game, which is Halo Infinite, they have been like doing these updates to these 2 other Halo games. But what they've done is, because the last time they ever did a Halo game was a good few years ago, and 343 would prefer to just take their freaking time and just to make sure that the game is actually ready to be revealed and launched and stuff like that, which makes sense. I completely understand where they're coming from. And yeah, to see like Halo Infinite, because oh god, the thing that pissed me off when they announced this, it was like the people just be like, oh, where's Halo 6? Like, Halo 6 is not gonna fucking happen, assholes. I'm not gonna show it at E3, it'll be another time. Wait.
It's hard to care about that even after Halo 4, but whatever, maybe it'll get good again.
But yeah, here's the thing: it's like you can't miss something. Like you can't miss something unless they haven't gone for a while. And this was a big wait for like the next Halo game, which makes sense considering what developers have been going through with Microsoft and all. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping that the mistakes we'll learn from what happened previously, and that it could be an improved Halo game, at least in my opinion, anyway. But only time will tell.
Of course. Now, moving on to the next discussion point, which is Bethesda. Now, of course, we already mentioned a lot of the good games, even though one of them is rental fodder, Fallout 76. Those other 3 games that are the most interesting, at least for me, were Metro Exodus, Doom Eternal, and Rage 2. We already discussed that, so they're good, and basically we'll have to rent them to find out if they're good or not. However, there are some additional points I want to point out that... according to the trailer that was the teaser trailer, if you will, the teaser, Elder Scrolls Online is getting 2 new pieces of DLC, Wolf Hunter and Merkmere, or Merkmire, however you pronounce it. Both are set to launch this year, and for those who are interested in it, they may like this, but I'm not so certain because I haven't played it. So I haven't played Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh, right. I know what you mean. Yes.
Yes.
And you know, there was that running theme of like mobile games.
Yes.
Guess who got a fucking mobile game?
Elder Scrolls Blades and
Yep.
Elder Scrolls Legends, apparently, both of which are not interesting in the slightest.
Again, why Elder Scrolls is a mobile game, I'll never fucking know.
What's also okay. Anyway, another thing is we'll continue on with the negatives since we mentioned two of them for this. Basically, for Prey, the next bad, the least interesting thing that I saw. That next thing I saw that was bad was Prey Moon Crash, and apparently this is basically a new DLC along with some new features. It's getting some new DLC and features. That's what Prey is getting.
Yeah,
Prey
and
is getting new DLC and features, and it doesn't seem like it would be as interesting.
Yeah, I mean, they mentioned about like new modes for it as well, like story mode, game plus mode, and survival mode. But the one thing that really confused the fuck out of me, particularly with the trailer, is why the fuck is Spin Me Right Round by Dead or Alive playing in it?
I guess they wanted to make it more festive. I don't fucking know. It's like I
it,
guess
it doesn't fit though.
No, it doesn't.
It's like you got all this thing like saying simulation restarting, diddly 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 diddly, simulation restarting. You spin me right. It just doesn't fucking work. It's like you hear the opening keyboard and you're like, the fuck? Like I remember at first when like watching it thinking, am I on drugs or is this really happening? Like it's just one of those things. It's just like the fuck is going on.
Cat Icarus had some choice words about Prey. He said it was boring. But yeah,
I guess I could kind of like it doesn't really, stand out or interest me in that kind of way. But yeah, I don't know if I would even want to bother with Moon Crash. Really, it's just my opinion. I just wasn't really that invested in it. Will say the Dead or Alive song included in the trailer was really fucking weird. But other than that, I think I'll easily just skip this one myself. Actually.
Yeah. I have to agree with you there. It doesn't seem that great, regardless of whether it's getting new features and DLC. Now, the next things are the two pieces of rental fodder. Wolfenstein Youngblood, which, of course, I believe involves, what? The daughters of BJ Blazkowicz. Insert blowjob joke here. Sorry, it's too easy. I'm not even going to
Yeah, I understand.
Then you have the Elder Scrolls 6, which looks good. But I'd rent it because I'm not familiar with the series as much.
Well, I mean, I've played Skyrim, but I think the problem is I need to see more of Elder Scrolls 6 to make a clear-cut decision.
Same.
So the only thing they showed in the trailer was just like the name. And it's just like, oh, it's happening. But I'd like to see like more to see, just get like a taste of what the game's about. Because I think just saying the name is just like, here's your taste of the game, enjoy.
I know,
but
right?
what does the game play that? Oh, the name will give it away. No, it doesn't. It's just one of those things where it's just like I need to know what the game's like before I can then make a clear-cut decision of yes, I will take my wallet, spend money, or just give you my debit card or something. I don't know. However it works these days, I think obviously don't fucking give away the details because fraud. But
Gotcha.
it's just a case of like
we need to know more about it.
Yeah, it's like I need to know more because I'm not risking my wallet on the line.
Ain't that the truth? And now, moving on to the Rage Factor. Oh, the moment we've been waiting for. We are going to dive into the absolute beautiful travesty that was EA Games' E3 showcase. And we will start off by listing
like
pretty
I've already
much the good things, the ones that we liked first. Then we will go into the bads.
Yeah,
and that's rental fodder. But yeah, let's go on to the goods.
Right, so literally, I think as I mentioned before, the two good games that I liked was Anthem, which looks really freaking impressive, and considering it was developed by BioWare, I have hope. And like I said, Sea of Solitude.
Yeah.
Both games which really did take me interest and make me thinking, I would definitely give these games a try.
Same here. Unravel, for some reason, just... Unravel 2 was funny with the turkey chasing him. And for some reason, there's going to be multiplayer in here, because... Yeah, that's apparently a great idea.
Well, here's the thing. The only thing I know of the original game is the box art.
Yep.
I'm not even joking. Like, I've never played the fucking game before.
Me neither.
Completely forgot it was a thing. But all I recognized was like the box art of Yarny. Yeah, that's the name of the fucking ball of yarn character. It's Yarny. That's literally his name. I'm like, okay, memorable name right there. Can't I just call him Yarn Boy or something? I don't know, Boy of Yarn.
Yarnicus, and he's dressed up like a Spartan.
Actually, you know what? Boy of Yarn could be an interesting name for him, actually, because it's a boy and it's made of yarn. But
yeah, I know, right?
Anyway, the multiplayer with this is kind of like, oh, Yarny has now come across a blue Yarny, and apparently it can switch between single player and 2-player. Apparently in single player, the blue Yarny just clings onto you as if it's like fusing to one. And then it's like the second player is like, oh, these separate Yarnies. And then, yeah, in the demonstration of the gameplay, yeah, they get chased by a giant black turkey. It's... But actually, now that I think about it, I'm not an animal expert or anything, but wouldn't the turkey eating at yarn be a bad idea?
Yeah, wouldn't it kill it?
Yeah, why don't you just like suffocate on the yarn and die?
I know, right?
It's like, it's tasty, and there's like an evil Grim Reaper can't just come eat the yarn turkey. Just finger gesturing in, but yeah, it was weird.
I got an idea. We can make Unravel. It'll be called Boy of Yarn, but it will be like, I got an idea. Infected Yarn. It would basically, anytime anyone eats you, or kills you or whatever, you always come back because you have infinite lives and you can infect everything. And it eventually gets more challenging and fun. But yeah, now moving on to the
Unravel 2 was really fucking weird, and I just had no interest in it whatsoever. So yeah,
it's fine, Aaron. It's fine. Yes, I can understand why it would turn some people off. I mean, I haven't played the first. I just thought it would possibly be something new to try out for rental fodder. Now on to the bads. Well, we already discussed the absolute awfulness of CNC Rivals. Because apparently, yeah, that's what we needed. Thanks, EA. Yeah, great job. Class act. Then you have fucking the highly realistic sports games that they announced, which is FIFA and Madden. Now, regardless of what they showed, even if they didn't show all of them, they showed 2 of them, and those 2 were shown, and I just gotta say, all of them just don't interest me. They suck, and they're pretty much dead horses at this point. No, they're dead horses that have been beaten constantly to the point where they're pretty much just rotting corpses at this point.
Like I remember when FIFA games used to be hilarious. Like you could slide tackle the goalkeeper and shit like that. You can't do those in these FIFA games anymore. Which is like, okay, now you're trying your damnedest to make these super realistic and just like, oh, stick to the rules and shit like that. Or you can still go offside, which is against the rules, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, like, I'll stick to Mario sports games, or I don't know, Rocket League. That's a lot more fun.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe if I had the powers of programming, create like an ultra-violent version of soccer. I don't know, just a thought.
Yeah, I know, right?
But yeah, like you said, that wasn't the only sports game they fucking announced. Madden Overdrive didn't give a single. Like, okay. I'm not familiar. Well, I'm slightly familiar with the NFL. I don't give a fuck about it, but I'm familiar with what it is, and that most Americans love it. But I just didn't see the point in it being a video game.
I know, right?
But that's just. But then also, what the confusing part about the sports games release is EA presents NBA Live. It's like, hold the fucking phone. I believe another publisher beat you to the punch with an NBA game. A little company called 2K Games.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because they've released NBA 2K, and then every year it's been like 2K17, 2K18, stuff like that. But why the fuck are EA doing an NBA game as well? It's like, isn't that kind of weird? Like 2 companies doing like NBA games. I was like, I'm pretty sure fucking 2K Games had the license because THQ went bankrupt and shit, and then did like an auction for each of its franchises. Basically, EA took UFC, 2K Games basically took the WWE and the NBA license. So I'm wondering, why the fuck are EA doing the NBA license? I've not heard of any news of 2K giving it up to them or anything, so I don't know what the fuck's going on there. But bottom line, not interested in any of the sports games. Like, if the sports games were batshit insane, like Road Rash, then yeah.
I agree.
where it's basically a motorcycle game or motorcycle racing, but then you have like a weapon in your hand you could beat the other fucking racers with. Like, that's my kind of sports game. It's just like a bit of silliness to make it not so realistic, but more entertaining, that kind of way.
What about some football game? There was this one that Screw Attack mentioned as a sports game that they do like. It's all like a violent football game. It's all bloody and shit. I forgot what it's called, and I believe there's a game called Blood Bowl too, but I don't think it relates. But anyway, those sound interesting. These next two games, well, actually, it's only one game, but the other one that involves added features. This next one is Battlefield 5. Why? I don't care. I stopped caring after Bad Company 2.
Yeah, that's the thing. 'Cause the last game I played was Bad Company. Or was it Bad Company 2? Like, one of those had, like, buildings you could blow the fuck up to pieces.
Okay, that's the first one.
Okay, so that was the first one. Like, cause, you know, that was, like, the last Battlefield game. Like, I played Battlefield 1942, then Battlefield 1943, then Bad Company, and, you know, I was fine with that, but they just turned into this beast I just don't want anything to do with.
Oh,
and it's like,
right.
Battlefield 5, yawn. Okay, what the fuck have you done different? Like, seriously. Oh, but we've added a Battle Royale mode. Yeah, you stole that from Fortnite. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
That's just basically what it is. It's like, oh, Fortnite did this, but let's try copy it, but make even more money out of it. Because that's what every fucking company wants to do. It's like, oh, they went for them. Let's make it work for us, but then we try and make more money out of it.
Pretty much. And apparently there's getting, and I believe I might be wrong about this, but according to their press conference, they're what? There's gonna be like what, new features in Battlefront 2 or something?
Yeah, sorry. I had to think there for a minute. It's like, yep, there's apparently, well, I basically described it as new shit, like a squad system, a new starfighter mode, a new command post capture mode, and new heroes and maps taken from the Clone Wars. And apparently it says, oh, there's 3 heroes you can play as. General Grievous. He's not a hero, he's a villain. Get it right, you gobshites.
Just one thing I want to say to EA on this decision. There still is balancing issues with Battlefront 2, dipshits.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, so you didn't fix those problems. Or maybe you did, I don't know, but still.
Well, to be fair, I mean, Battlefront 2 is just like a dying horse.
Dead horse.
Like, basically like a horse that just needs to be taken to the back of the shed and just put out of its misery, but instead of just letting it suffer and die and cry for help. Because ever since the fucking loot crate problems and the balancing issues, oh god, Battlefront 2 was just left under the bus pretty much.
Yep.
But then it's just like, oh wait, it's okay, we got new shit for it, like a squad system, a new starfighter mode, a new command post, and you can even play as heroes like General Grievous, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Anakin Skywalker. And I'm like, okay, let's rewind a bit. First of all, General Grievous is a villain. Calling him a hero is a bit odd, but whatever. Also, which version of Obi-Wan Kenobi? I'm presuming the Ewan McGregor version, where he looks like Jesus.
I think they're using the word hero in this sense to basically use it as an equivalent for the word champions. Like Paladins has champions and all that. Yeah.
I suppose you got a point there, but yeah. Also, General Grievous is like, fuck you, mate. Who are you to freaking wield 4 lightsabers at one fucking time? Like when most characters wield like 1.
And Darth Vader is like OP as hell in that game, I believe.
Well, yeah, last I mentioned, yeah, he was pretty OP as fuck in that game. And also, it's like, Anakin Skywalker is like, you do realise he slowly turned evil. And did shit. And became Darth Vader.
I will say this, I'd rather play this than Command and Conquer Rivals. Like, I'd rent this. But,
Battlefront will probably have like a couple of games that over Command and Conquer Rivals. Like, I wouldn't even dare give CNC Rivals even a chance, because it's like, fuck you, EA.
I know, right?
That's all I'm going to think of every time that game's mentioned. It's like, fuck you, EA. And to be honest, I kind of feel the same way with Battlefront 2. It's like, fuck you, EA.
That's EA for you. They screwed up here, but they have literally the worst press conference. out of any of the others.
Yeah, I don't know why. I should have skipped this conference, but I didn't, because I'm thinking, right, I'm going to be, biased. I'm going to give each of them a chance. It's like, fuck EA. Like, this is just how I felt throughout the entire conference. It's just like, after Anthem and Sea of Solitude, forget fucking everything else, because, oh god.
Oh yes, and that pretty much concludes everything, since, out of any of the press conferences, which one you think did the best? Like the ones that we discussed here.
I think out of the ones we discussed, I'm gonna have to be honest. I think in terms of like the quantity and the quality of the quantity, right? So I could easily say who did the fucking least, fucking EA.
Yep, they did the worst.
Ubisoft would then be the next one up. I think out of Bethesda and Microsoft, I probably would say Microsoft probably did the best, but I'd only say that because there was a lot more they showed off and a lot more that was liked. But yeah, I think another thing we forgot to mention about EA was this new cloud technology, or cloud gaming technology that they basically said. And it's basically like, oh, instead of using like a game console or a PC to play your video games on, you can now play those exact same games on a mobile phone, or basically anything with an internet connection and a screen. And I'm like, nope, just a dumb idea.
Wow.
Okay, first of all, who the fuck puts their fucking mobile phone on top of their controller? Like, that looks stupid. Also, how the fuck are you going to see anything out of the screen of a mobile phone? Like, for fuck's sake. And then also, yeah, stealing from Nintendo, are we?
I know, right?
It's like, you look at the Wii U, it was just like a big ass tablet, it's like a controller, and that kind of worked because there was a big enough display on it, whereas a mobile phone is like, I don't know, it was 6 foot the size. And it's just like, oh, you can game on this. No, you can't. In the bin it goes, EA, just fucking...
I duct taped it to it.
So, yeah, it's like, it's basically the thing, like, to basically best describe this is, imagine if you took, like, I don't know, say your iPhone or your Android phone, got some duct tape and put it on top of your controller and just be like, I'm gaming now. It's like, no, you're not. And it's just one of the moments which made me think, fuck you, EA.
That's EA for you. They fucked
that
us
might be,
with
that might
SimCity.
be just the title of the review of the EA conference. EA E3, fuck you, EA. Just done.
I know, right? They have really... They are... I hate their always online DRM with their Origin service.
Yeah. I mean, my uncle's probably quoted it the best by basically saying, EA, they've lost the plot lately, haven't they? I'm like, lost the plot? They've lost their brain into the fucking ocean, mate. That's basically what's like, oh god, if it weren't for my uncle, I wouldn't have known just how bad Command & Conquer 4 was. And it's just like, basically had to break the news to him, you're not going to believe what fucking EA have just done. It's like, what's happened? It's like, they've made Command & Conquer a mobile game. It's like, figures.
Wow.
It's just like...
That's all they care about now.
Money. Yeah, just money in their pockets. It's just like, oh, we've got a mobile phone market. Let's get some more money.
Everyone and their grandmother has done videos on how bad they are. Fucking Jim Sterling.
Bear in mind, also, speaking of EA, there was actually this weird little award thing where they like awarded like the worst company, and EA was on that list, and they were competing against other video game companies like Capcom, Konami, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, UPN, yes, that fucking company. And in 2 years in a row, they've won the award for worst company. And the award is just a gold coiled turd on a stick. That's literally what the award looks like. And it's like, EA, you have been awarded that twice in a row.
Yep. Congrats on sucking,
like,
EA.
You did worse than Walmart on that award, and that's fucking saying something.
Yep.
I'm not kidding. Walmart was in that list, and yet EA wins the award. It's like, wow. I want to know what the fuck Walmart's been doing to not get this award.
Yeah, I know, right?
And I've heard many shocking stories about Walmart, and thank fuck it's only in America. Though I kind of feel sorry for any Americans that have to go there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's even like a whole website dedicated to that. Like, people of Walmart is just like, oh, good God, what the hell's going on here? Is this even the same planet?
Oh, yes.
But, yeah, that was basically, all of the E3 conventions, and like I said, I think Microsoft did the best, EA did the worst. That still doesn't mean Ubisoft was good. It's just that it wasn't as bad as EA.
Yeah,
Like, I remember like watching the EA one. It's just like, wow, this is fucking terrible. And then it's like Ubisoft was like, oh, please don't be as bad as EA. It's like, I'll give you credit. You weren't as bad as EA, but you still fucking sucks. But
Yep.
that's all. That's the only positive. Like I said about Ubisoft. I mean, granted, there was like a couple of games. Again, I was interested in Ubisoft, but at the same time, thank fuck you weren't as bad as EA.
I know, right?
I could at least have an easier sit through Ubisoft.
I know, right?
I'd rather just be this grumpy prick just watching EA. It's like Grumpy Cat watches EA.
It's like a dummy version of you, except basically you take Walter's design of how he's like has his arm. You know Walter from Jeff Dunham, that puppet, right? Yeah, basically have like a dummy version of you looking like that, with your arms crossed. Fucking pissed looking.
Yeah, just.
Welcome to the E3 press conferences. Don't.
Yeah.
He's like, have abandon all hope, ye who enter here.
Basically, I call it, welcome to E3, the good, the bad, and the what the fuck were you thinking?
Yep. That is like a perfect meme. So yeah, I even love that Gaming Wildlife riffed on EA with their 100% Honest With Us series. If EA was 100% honest with us, it was great. Because it's so true. Because fuck developers, fuck consumers, and fuck you. That's so true. Oh my god.
True.
But yes, all in all, this was, I think, better than last year. So yeah, like
I'd probably say so as well. Yeah.
And let's just hope that some games that we may have not have mentioned
make an appearance in next year's E3, or
get announced in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if they're not shown here. So.
Oh god, yeah. I imagine they'll probably appear in because that was the case with Cuphead. Because I think it was first mentioned in 2015, and then nothing for 2016, and then it came up in 2017 and then got released. And now this year we're getting like an expansion pack for it, so even better. But yeah, I think it's more than likely what wasn't mentioned here will most likely be mentioned next year.
Yep.
And also, I'm kind of intrigued to see what new things await us at next year's E3. In fact, here's the burning question: could EA be any worse than this year?
I know, right? Could they?
That is the really burning question right now, because.
Oh yes.
Maybe the only way I think they could make it worse is if instead of 2 games I was interested in, 1 game I was interested in. Or maybe 0, who knows?
Oh yes.
But we shall see in a year's time.
Anthem's pretty good, at least.
Yeah, Anthem was good, and Sea of Solitude was interesting.
It's about
the rest, skip. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that about wraps up everything. So yes. Thank you for joining me on this, and I hope to work with you in the future, Aaron.
Not a problem, and I would love to work with you in the future.
Oh, yes, thank you. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in, and of course, for those who are actually interested in Aaron's content, his channels are linked below.